Hey everybody, Gary here with Pow Music, and I hope you enjoyed my playthrough of David Gilmour's legendary 2 solos, Uncomfortably Numb by Pink Floyd. So as you saw, we had our fretLIVE animations there showing you not just how to play the notes, but the underlying musical context. What are the scales? What are the chords? What are the intervals? So for me, and I'm sure for you as well, having that deeper understanding of what's going on the fretboard gives us the freedom to expand on it, to move things around the fretboard, to play them a little differently, and ultimately to take the songs and the music we learn and use them as inspiration to create our own music. So the first 5 minutes of this video was just the intro to a sequential 2-hour course I have on both these solos, where the goal is exactly that. We don't just learn every phrase note for note, all the techniques, but after we learn the bits and pieces, we take the time to expand on them and create something new that's inspired by what David played. So we will first go into painstaking detail on how to play each phrase as close to David as possible, because in doing so, that's how we get those finer details of what makes the great players we know and love so great. But then we take that time to use those things creatively as we go along. So the segment of the course on the first solo, we look at some of the things that he did, different arpeggios on the chords and different cage shapes, adding that 4th scale degree. And I share with you some exercises that you could do to really master being able to do that on any chord. And then we use the backing track to play those exercises and then take those elements to create something musical using our own creative instincts. So at the very end of the course segment on the first solo, we put everything together to create our own solo inspired by David's. On the first solo, there's also going to be a segment where we get a little deep on the theory, because there is a key change there where we go from D major to D mixolydian mode. So we're also going to cover that. So that first solo is a little more complex harmonically. On the second one, we go over all those classic blues scale riffs, adding the 9th. So we take it really slowly, just mastering one phrase at a time, getting as much as we could get out of it before moving on to the next one. That's why it's a 2-hour course. So if you got everything you needed out of those first few minutes of this video, that's great. But if you also want to go to that next step and not just master how to play the solo, but take what we just learned and create with it, that's the goal of the course. So I've been working on this course and series of lessons on Uncomfortably Numb for about 4 months now. As anyone that follows the page knows, I'm all about quality over quantity, so I don't post all that often. But as you all know, both of these solos are in the pantheon of greatest guitar solos ever played. And by learning them in this way and really working on all the things that are contained within them, it's going to come out in your playing. So right now it's also heavy gigging season for me here in Austin, Texas, and I find a lot of these ideas are making their way into my playing. But that wouldn't happen if I didn't take all the time to just go the extra mile with what I learned here and really get the most out of it, as I'm describing. The mission here at Pow Music is learn, create, share. So the learning, maybe you were able to do that already, but I want to coach you through the creative piece, being able to take what you learn, workshop those ideas and create with them. And to share, I invite you to join my Patreon community, which is where the course is hosted. And by joining the course, you'll get immediate access to twice weekly 90-minute live Zoom guitar hangouts where we all get together, we play, cameras on, interacting, playing with and for one another if you want. If not, you can just sit in and watch. But I invite you to get the full learning experience on these 2 solos, and the link to join is in the description below. There's 2 separate posts on my Patreon page. One is the complete course, and the other is just the downloadable PDF tab, the guitar profiles, and other supporting resources. So if you just want that, that's level 1, but if you want to join me for the complete course, that's level 2. And although I encourage you to join the Patreon on a monthly basis, where we do those twice weekly 90-minute sessions, and you'll get access to everything I ever posted over the last 7 years, You could also just purchase the course by itself, but it's only through your ongoing support on Patreon and enrolling in courses that we're able to continue putting out these super high quality guitar lessons. And if you'd like to see us expand, put out twice as much, we need to hire a video editor, and so your support means everything. Here for the rest of the video, you're going to see the first 5 to 10 minutes of the course, where we go over tone tips, the first phrase of the first solo, and bending technique. And if you want to keep going, the links are below to take the next step. All right, so let's start with the first phrase of the first solo. So the first chord is D, and the second chord is A. And what's beautiful about this solo is that he's outlining the chords in his lead. So it's less improvisational. It's more of just a beautiful melodic composition over the chord progression, and it really plays the chords, right? So we start on this D up here, right? 1 octave higher from here. And I'm not sure what pickup he used exactly, but it doesn't sound like the bridge to me. It sounds like either neck or middle. But once you add enough distortion and overdrive, the differences start to blur. They're much more apparent with clean tone. As far as tone goes for both these solos, there's a lot to read in forums and online and in interviews and stuff. But at the end of the day, when I tried to follow those things, they didn't quite sound right. And I even bought a couple Helix presets where people tried to do all those things, and it didn't quite sound right. So I came up with my own custom Helix preset. But the ingredients that you need to do this is just overdrive, some reverb, some chorus, some delay, and if you have it, a little bit of a rotary sound or a vibe sound. So there you see flexo vibe, but that's the sound of sort of a spinning speaker. It's very subtle. Nothing's like at max, but if all those things combined subtle, it got me pretty close. But I tweaked everything, and if you want this Helix preset, that goes along with all the other supporting resources for this lesson, the tab, the song sheet, and everything on my Patreon page as a reward for Pound Music patrons, and the link is in the description. But so we start with this D, and he does a rake. What do I mean by a rake? So I'm grabbing that D chord, and I'm just resting my fingers on it, right? I rake down the top 3 strings, and then I up pick the 14th fret of the high E string. Right? Now, here we do vibrato with the bar, right? Right? Now, if you don't have a vibrato, you can just do finger vibrato. Gilmour mixes finger vibrato and trem bar vibrato seamlessly. And depending on which version of the solos you watch him play, sometimes he's doing finger, sometimes he's doing bar. And I've heard him say in an interview that he's tried to make it sound like it could be either or. And so when you listen to the original recording, I tried to discern which is which, but sometimes it's not clear, and that's okay, right? So then we're doing a little click. Right? When we do these rakes and these clicks, it adds a percussive element to our lead, right? And the timing is perfect, right? So it's good to really understand the rhythm. A lot of times rhythm is the secret weapon or the thing that really differentiates someone that's sounding really good versus really amateur, right? It's how tight is the rhythm? How good is their sense of time? So when you learn this, you want to know the rhythm first and foremost before even attempting the notes. So the first phrase goes like this. This is 63 beats per minute. That's what I recorded it to. The track goes between 63, 64. So we've got bra, ba da da ba da ba da da da, right? So that's the rhythm of the phrase. I need to know that rhythm before I even try to play the phrase, right? Once I have the rhythm, then it's just a matter of putting my fingers in the right place to the rhythm. 1, 2, 3, 4. there's our first phrase. So we start on that D triad, but we're only just playing the top note, which is the third of the chord, F sharp, right? Then we do another little rake, and we bend it a half step. So to get that half step bend, and we're bending from F sharp to G, the third of the chord to the fourth, play that G, and then bend up to it. Right? Can you get those two to sound the same? Okay, then we come to the next string, we take the root, D, and we bend it up to an E. And this is when we hit the A chord, right? So it's right on the A we get. So we want to bend that D up to the note E. Right? As far as my bending technique, I'm doing this fulcrum technique. So I'm using my forearm muscle. I'm not using my fingers. I'm not going, right? I'm more using this fulcrum, and as if I'm opening a door like that, right? And this bottom of the neck is my fulcrum point. Okay? And then sometimes I use the finger just a millimeter to get my intonation. By intonation, I mean how in tune the bend is. So when I go, sometimes I just push a little bit with the finger to get the tuning. But even when I do vibrato, it's still that door opening motion with this fulcrum, the neck as a fulcrum. And these fingers, my index finger and middle finger, are supporting my third finger. Right? Okay, then when we bend it up, again with the vibrato, so. Right? So here's an arpeggio. Hit the D or the fourth and then come right down the A major triad. And I think I'm doing it, so I just kind of rotate that finger. So it's like flesh, tip, and then index finger. All right, everybody, that concludes the free preview of the course, and if you'd like to continue, the link is in the description. Now, if all of that stuff you saw on the fretboard is brand new to you, like what is a flat 5 and what is the 2, and what are these scale shapes, and what are these chord intervals, and why do they keep changing? If that language of harmony on the fretboard is brand new, I'd encourage you to join us for Pal Music's flagship course, the fretLIVE Fretboard Mastery program, where we use these animated fretboard graphics to teach each concept, and we start at the very beginning of how harmony works in general and on the fretboard. First, we just introduce the notes on the fretboard, see them as both note names and intervals, and over 12 units, we go from the very beginning of just the notes with no rules to then getting into the idea of being in a key, the scale of that key, both major and minor, the chords that are contained within those scales, how to play them all over the fretboard, different practice routines. We get into triads, the cage system, part 1, 2, and 3, pentatonic scales, the blues scale, 7th chords, sus chords, 9th chords, 6th chords, all sorts of other chords. And then finally, we end in Unit 12 with modes. It's a song-based course, so each step of the way, there's both song learning challenges and creative challenges, where I challenge you to take the concepts we learned and create your own music using them, or to take the concepts we learned and learn a song that demonstrates those concepts. So some people love the creative piece, others love the song learning piece, but I give you options for what you might want to do each week to really take what you're learning and make music with it. So the fretLIVE Fretboard Mastery program started as a live course with a cohort of 40 students each time I did it, and by popular demand, I created a self-paced program where you could just download all the resources and watch live replays with previous cohorts. That's half the price. But if you want to join us for the full college course experience, where you've got 39 other classmates, you have twice weekly live Zoom classes with myself, one on a weekend in the morning, one on a weekday at night, just to accommodate for 2 different time zones, even though they're the same class. Many people attend both of them just to get that reinforcement. You can do that as well. And there's a private group for you to share what you work on each week. So each week we have a different topic over the course of 16 weeks. And I promise you by the end, you're going to have far more freedom on the fretboard to not just play chords and scales and riffs and expand on things you know all over the fretboard, but also to really understand the essential elements of music theory and how it relates to the guitar. So I haven't done the live cohort of this course in about 1.5 years, and I'm excited to say that after that long break, I'm offering again the live version of the course, and it's gonna start first thing in the new year in the 2nd week of January. Being right now, it's Black Friday time, 2025. I'm using this video to announce enrollment is open, and I'm offering a 20% discount from now until Black Friday. So you might be watching this in the future. Chances are you are. It might be 2028, 2029, 2035. Who knows? But whatever it is, the link to join the fretLIVE Fretboard Mastery program at whatever price it happens to be will be in the description. You might not have that Black Friday discount, but I promise you, for the cost of just a couple one-on-one lessons, you'll have a course that you could work with over the course of 6 months, a year, 2 years, 3 years. The content there is evergreen, and you can work through it at your own pace. All right, everybody, thanks for watching the lesson thus far. If you want to see the rest of the course, the link is in the description. Have fun. Happy playing, and I'll see you next time. Oh, before I go, I just want to give a huge shout out to all of the POW Music patrons that support this channel, and an extra special thanks to the following upper level POW Music patrons: Andre, Mark Chambers, Daniel Bogdan, Bob, Owen Arbuthnot, C. Eduardo Guse, Zachary Chittenden, Will, Noah Martinez, Daniel Carr, Alexis Diaz, Andrew Wilson, Marnix Delbecque, Kyle Schindedecker, Kurt, David E., PSJ, Joe Taylor, Naz Sleep, Ryan Toole, Stephen Hudak, Christian, Jeffrey R. Davis, Michael DeToma, Ciaran Caruthers, Edmund Trusty, Greg Payne, Michael Berman, Carlton Hicks, Sean Westfall, Hal Jones, Greg, Jeff, Wayne Evans, LW, Dave Hubner, Jim McGinnis, Kay Carter, Jens Fisher, Jesse Jacobs, David Bowersock, Steve Pisano, John Cushman, and Sean Ellis. And thank you to all past, present, and future patrons for supporting the free content on this POW Music YouTube channel.